Howdy folks, I'm Mama B, and you just watched our how to build a snowman. So I've got one of these snowmen, and the other one had eyes on it, but now we're going to talk about how to put on eyes if you don't have the little eyes. And we're going to start with, get your buttons. Now I've got these cute tiny little buttons. You just pick out a couple that will go well together. Those look pretty good. They don't even have to match, folks. And those you just stitch on with needle and thread. We'll take those two. You do need to make sure that your needle will go through the holes in the button. And then we just pick where you want the eyes to be and just sew them on. Oh. Get that end out of there. You don't want any unwanted ends hiding. Poking their noses out where they don't belong. Just stitch that in real good. Once you got your eyes on, you're going to want a little carrot nose. So we're going to crochet that. We're going to leave a little length on your number 10 Aunt Lydia's orange thread. And we're going to do that so that it's easier to stitch on. We're going to crochet 6. Now you can do more or less, but that will decide the thickness or thinness of your nose. And I've come to the conclusion that 6 is just about right. I'm going to crochet 6 and then close it off in a circle, and then we're just going to crochet into those 6 stitches. And we're just going to work our way around. Natural human nature, because the project is so small, will make you skip a stitch. That is exactly what you need to do, so don't be too perfectionist here, because every once in a while you're going to randomly skip a stitch. If you find yourself being too much of a perfectionist and hitting every stitch perfectly, reduce 1 or 2 as you go, and eventually your nose will become a carrot pointed little nose. We're just going to keep working our way around. So eventually this will just come right down to a point. If you're dropping a stitch or reducing each row, you're going to have the perfect size carrot. And then you just drop it. Do one more for good measure for a stitch, and then we cut this off and we'll stitch it on. Let's do it. You want to pull that end in to the center of the carrot so that you don't have a long string. I mean, unless you want the long string. And then stitch it on. It's easier to do this before you stitch it on. Believe me, I've tried both ways. And honestly, folks, this little guy's so darn cute right now, you could stop right there, but we're not going to. Because he needs buttons, and he needs a scarf to keep him warm. We're just going to do a little knot, stitching. Tie that off, and like all of them, just drive that needle right through the snowman and hide those ends. all your extras. Nobody will even see it. Isn't that cute? Let's move on to the next thing. Next, we're going to show you how, if you don't have buttons or eyes, you can make your own little decorations. I'm going to show you on the smile because the smile is so cute. But also, I did a bunch of these and smiles are not necessary. Basically, what you're doing is you're just sewing stitches to fill in so it looks like a little stone or a little chunk of coal. And it doesn't have to be perfect because it's a rock. When you're done with the first one, you can just put your needle through to where you want the next one. And then we just kind of stitch over the top of it until it looks like a rock as well. Again, tie it off and just pull it through. Nobody will even ever see the ends. There's your smiles. You can also do that for the eyes if you don't have any buttons or any eyeballs. And you can do that for the buttons down the front. We're going to just use buttons. Okay, next we're going to do the little guy's scarf. So we're going to start with a thread. This is Aunt Lydia's number 10, and we're using green because, you know, Christmas and winter season colors and all that stuff. And you just chain it for the length that you want your scarf. And it can be whatever color you want. I'm using green because it's a good wintry, Christmassy color. And we'll just chain it the length. And the thing is, I'm not even counting. I love it when you can make a pattern that you don't have to count. You got your snowman. You know, when you think you're getting close, you just wrap it around his neck and see if it's going to be long enough for you. Now, there's multiple choices you can take on this. You can just do it real thin and all the same color. So I'm going to go back on this and do a second row. Or you can add in other colors. So we're just going to measure this scarf around the little snowman. So if I were to stop here, it'd just be a short little scarf like that. I want it a little longer, so I'm going to add a few more stitches. That's how you do it. You just measure it like that. And then we're going to go back and you can measure it again, check it again. It was already pretty close. Aw, Frog, you're helping. Thank you, buddy. We're just going to go back and, well, he's getting right in there and helping. We're going to do a second row. So you just return that. Okay, Frog, I need that part. Thank you. Thank you, buddy. You got it good. You just do a return row on that, and that will be your scarf. If you want to make it thicker or add another color, you are welcome to do that. I've done both, but for the sake of this demo, we're just going to do a return row. Let's speed it up. All right, we get to the end, just slip stitch that off, snip it, and then you got a couple of options. You can tuck your ends in, or you can add more fringe to both ends and have a fringy scarf, which works. You can add in another color if you like, whatever you like. What do you think, Frog? Yeah, Frog likes it. He thinks it's all right. Okay, Frog, let's put it around the snowman, see how it fits the snowman. Yeah, you like that carrot nose? Carrots are good for birds. I like the buttons too. We just tie that around, let it do its magic. Now, you can add a hat, and we'll show you how to do that in our next video, or I'm gonna add some hair for you because it's really cute. For the end, if you're gonna do hair, I'm gonna show you how to do it. Now this is before you tuck it in. I just pulled that out so you can see. You can leave those ends out, and then just, we're adding to them. And so your first end, put it like that. And then I like to kind of put my needle through that thread to help lock it in place. And each time I make a loop now, I want to try and do that with the thread. Just, and you're going to estimate roughly about that long, and then just keep trying to hit those threads. That helps hold it all together. Oh, you don't want to pull it all the way through. If you do, it's not a big deal, but it's just one more stitch you got to do. And we're just going to give them a little tuft of hair. Now you can do these shorter and just leave them, but I'm going to do it a little extra because honestly, this look that I'm going for, I have fallen in love with. I think it's adorable and it's quick and easy. And so we're going to do that look. Okay, so once you've got a few loops like that, you can take it and wrap it around, kind of tie those off, and then stitch through it again to hold all that in, because it's a bunch of ends we're dealing with, and you want to hold them as securely as you can. And then I'm just going to take this and drive it back up through that. Just pull that end up through there and snip it off. And then what we're going to do is snip all these ends, all these loops. And you have all these ends. Now they're a little long, so I'm going to give this little guy a haircut. And then what we're going to do is take our needle and separate them and just make them a little bit messy, a little fuzzy. And then after you get all this fuzzy hair, go back in and style it just how you want. Now we're going for a kind of a crazy snowman look, so there's not a lot of styling to do. But maybe I want a little less crazy. A couple of shorter ends in there. And then we're just gonna mash it all out and make them look full on crazy snowman hair. Isn't that cute? I love it. And you can do shorter or longer, whatever you think is best. But this is my little snowman. And just have fun with them, guys. It's pretty great. These are really great for giving to friends, and they just love them. So thank you so much for watching our video. Watch our video next week to see how to make the hat, and have a fantastic day.